The real reason she says no, and how to ask without risking rejection. I'm going to start this video with a confession. For years, I thought I was afraid of intimacy. I thought something was wrong with me, that I wasn't bold enough, or maybe I just wasn't man enough to close the deal. But that wasn't it. The truth is, I wasn't afraid of being close to her. I was afraid of the 10 seconds after I tried to get close. That pause, that cold shift in her eyes. That moment where she says, I think we should just be friends. Most men don't fear intimacy. We fear rejection. We fear that moment when we put ourselves out there and she pulls back, leaving us feeling exposed, foolish, and confused. We replay it in our heads for days. What did I do wrong? Was I too eager? Did I misread the signs? But what if I told you that the way you've been asking is the problem? What if I told you that women don't actually reject intimacy, they reject the pressure that usually comes attached to it? And what if I told you there is a way to ask, without asking at all, a way that uses psychology, not manipulation, a way that makes her feel so safe, so understood, and so in control, that she walks into the moment on her own? Today, we're going to talk about why you keep hitting that wall and exactly how to walk through it without ever hearing the word no. The foundation, why she says no. Let's clear something up immediately. If a woman rejects you, it is rarely about the physical act, it's about the feeling attached to it. Most men make one of four fatal mistakes. They ask too directly. It turns chemistry into a transaction. They ask too soon. She hasn't emotionally caught up yet. They ask with nervous energy. It signals that you doubt yourself. They ask without building emotional tension. There's no anticipation. Here is the psychological truth that changes everything. Women decide with emotion and they justify with logic. If the emotion feels wrong, the logic will find a reason to say no. I'm tired. I have work early. I don't want to ruin the friendship. But if the emotion feels right, the logic will find a way to say yes. Your job is not to convince her brain. Your job is to make her feel safe enough for her heart to take over. 3:30, the first trick, stop asking, start inviting. I want you to imagine someone trying to sell you a car. The moment the salesman says, so are you ready to buy this today? What happens? You tense up. Even if you like the car, you pull back, you become defensive. That is exactly what happens when you say, do you want to come back to my place? Direct questions activate the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is where doubt, fear, and overthinking live. The solution. Stop asking for her body, start asking about her feeling. Instead of, can I kiss you? Try, what's going through your mind right now? Instead of, do you want to go somewhere more private? Try, are you comfortable here or do you need a little space? See the difference? You aren't demanding entry, you are checking in, you are proving that her comfort matters more than your desire. And here's the dark psychology twist, when you offer her control, she feels safe. And when she feels safe, she gives you the keys. The second trick, the soft withdrawal. This is the technique that changed my life. Imagine you're sitting close, there's chemistry, the conversation dips. There's that pause where something could happen. Most men at this exact moment lean in, they escalate, they chase. Don't. Instead, try this, lean back just slightly, break eye contact for a second, look at your drink, adjust your sleeve, create a tiny pocket of space. In her mind, something shifts. She thinks, wait, why did he pull back? Did I do something? Does he not want this? And then without her even realizing it, she starts leaning in, she asks a question, she touches your arm, she closes the distance. You didn't chase, you didn't pressure, you simply created a vacuum, and nature abhors a vacuum. This isn't a game, it's energy dynamics. If you're always pushing, she will always resist. But if you can be still, she will gravitate toward your gravity. 800, the third trick, the implanted thought. Women don't respond to instructions, they respond to awareness. You cannot tell a woman, you want me. That feels aggressive, it triggers resistance. But you can help her realize what she is already feeling. Try using soft, suggestive statements like, it's weird, I feel really relaxed around you. You're surprisingly easy to be close to. I didn't expect to feel this comfortable tonight. You aren't asking for anything. You aren't demanding a response, you are simply giving voice to the atmosphere. And here's what happens psychologically. She checks in with herself. She thinks, wait, yeah, I do feel relaxed, I do feel comfortable. Why do I feel so safe with him? She attributes that feeling to you, and that feeling becomes desire. The fourth trick, your calm is her permission slip. Let's talk about you for a second. Women are energy readers, they can smell nervousness from across the room. They can sense when a man is performing, trying to impress, or desperate for validation. And when a man is nervous, something interesting happens. It forces her into her masculine energy. She has to think, she has to manage the situation, she has to protect herself. You cannot seduce a woman who feels like she has to parent you. Your superpower is stillness, not coldness, not silence, just calm, the energy of a man who has nothing to prove and nowhere else to be. When you're calm, she can afford to be soft, and softness is where desire lives. The final trick, the moment's idea, not yours. The biggest mistake men make is trying to own the desire. I want you, I need you, I really like you. All of these put the weight on her to respond to your feelings. It's pressure. Instead, take the spotlight off yourself, put it on the moment. This feels really nice. There's something about tonight. I didn't expect this, but I'm really glad we ended up here. You aren't asking, you aren't begging, you are simply observing, and because you aren't trying to take anything from her, she doesn't need to guard herself. The moment becomes a shared experience, not a negotiation. When intimacy is framed as something that is happening rather than something you are doing to her, she stops analyzing and starts experiencing. And that is where the yes stops being a decision and starts being inevitable. What comes next? Look, I know how exhausting it is to walk that tightrope, to wonder if you're coming on too strong or too weak. To read into every text, every glance, every pause, to lie in bed at 2 a.m. replaying what you should have said differently. I've been there, we've all been there, but here's the truth I want you to walk away with. She wants connection just as much as you do. She is not the enemy, she is not trying to reject you. She's just waiting for a reason to feel safe enough to say yes. You don't need tricks, you don't need manipulation. You just need to stop fighting the current and learn to flow with it. If this video hit home, if it made you exhale a little bit and realize you've been trying too hard, then I have something for you. On this channel, we don't do pickup lines, we don't do 10 ways to manipulate her. We do psychology, we do self-mastery, we do the inner work that actually makes you magnetic. So if you want to keep going, if you want to stop chasing and start attracting, hit that subscribe button. Not because I need the numbers, but because I want you to see the video I'm publishing next week. It's about why nice guys actually struggle the most with intimacy, and it might be the most honest thing I've ever recorded. Subscribe now, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in that one. Stay grounded, stay curious, see you there.